Hello and welcome to our newscast. I'm Hwang Jie, live from Seoul. Our top story this morning, President Park Geun-hye has rolled out her plans to begin the process of revising the Constitution to allow presidents to serve more than one term. Questions are now rising regarding the possible direction the revision could take. On top of that, with a presidential election and parliamentary by-elections set for next year, will there be enough time to make the historic changes? With some expert analysis, Shin Se-min reports.
Accepting the people's and the parliament's request, President Park Geun-hye vowed to revise the constitution within her term. If the revision goes as planned, it'll be the first time since 1987 that a constitutional amendment takes place. What should be then the right decision for the revision? Pundits say the main focus should be on the people.
The revision of the Constitution should put the people first, enhancing the spirit of democracy through bettering the fundamental rights of the people, while also improving the government structure.
Reshaping the way the country is governed is also another point. The current single 5-year presidential term could be revamped to a 4-year term open to re-election. The debate will also focus on changing the system overall by either adopting a semi-presidential structure, a mixture of the presidential and a parliamentary cabinet system under which more power is given to the prime minister, or just a purely parliamentary cabinet system like the one Japan has. But the most pressing issue, besides the content of the amendment, will be finishing the revision on time, especially with the presidential election coming up next year. The current constitution states that all necessary procedures for an amendment should take about 110 days. So, in accordance to the president's pledge, a bill for amendment should be submitted by early January next year, so a national referendum can take place sometime in April, right in time for parliamentary by-elections. Once the bill reaches Parliament, it'll be put on public notice for at least 20 days and then put for full floor vote within the next 60 days, requiring at least 2/3 of parliamentary approval for an endorsement. However, some experts say a constitutional amendment is not a matter that can be finished within a deadline.
Any given deadline for an amendment will never be enough. It's work that requires both rival parties and the people to meet halfway.
While some raised the timing of the constitutional amendment could be intentional, as the presidential office has been mired with corruption allegations involving the president's closest allies, the general consensus seems to be in favor of the move, as many consider it was about time the country's constitution reflected the changing times. Shin Se-min, ARIRANG News.
Senior U.S. military officials have agreed that the next presidential administration in Washington, be it Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, should prioritize national security amid continual North Korean provocations. The country's top military brass gathered at a forum held in the U.S. Capitol on Monday local time to discuss practical countermeasures against international threats. U.S. Secretary of the Army Eric Fanning stressed the importance of solid preparedness against any potential form of attack. His counterparts from the Navy and Air Force agreed and added that reviewing the United States nuclear weapons in terms of status and when they could be used in the future is another prime task for the next administration. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Antony Blinken is set to visit South Korea, Japan, and China this week for talks on resolving North Korean nuclear threats. The State Department says Blinken will be in Tokyo for 2 days from Wednesday for a foreign vice-ministerial meeting with his South Korean and Japanese counterparts. He will travel on to Seoul for talks with South Korea's Deputy National Security Advisor Cho Tae-yong. They will discuss international efforts to hold North Korea accountable for its provocations. Following his talks in Seoul, Blinken will fly to Beijing to touch on topics like North Korea and territorial disputes in the South China Sea. Samsung Electronics is offering Galaxy Note 7 customers here in Korea the chance to upgrade their device to a Note 8 for half price if they trade in their recalled device for a Galaxy S7 smartphone. This as the tech giant pushes hard to retain their brand loyalty after the termination of the ill-fated Note 7. Oh Jung-hee has more.
Samsung has announced additional compensation for Galaxy Note 7 owners in Korea. For those who choose to exchange their Note for a Galaxy S7 or S7 Edge, Samsung will offer a 50% discount next year if they want to upgrade to an S8 or Note 8. Korean smartphone users usually pay monthly installments for 24 months when they buy a new device, but these customers will be exempt from installments for 12 months if they decide to take one of the flagship models. So consumers getting Galaxy S8 next March will have to pay installments for just 6 more months at that point, and those getting a Note 8 next August won't have to pay any additional installments. The new plan also applies to those who've already exchanged their phones for a Galaxy S7 or S7 Edge. That exchange option is available until the end of next month, meaning consumers will soon have to decide whether or not to jump to those models. Samsung added that when it comes to repairing devices, Note 7 owners will get priority, along with a 50% discount. The previous set of measures remain in place. That is, Note 7 owners can get a full refund or exchange their device to other Samsung models such as Galaxy S7, S7 Edge, or the Note 5. People who choose a Samsung device will be provided with gift cards worth around $25 and a voucher for $60 toward their phone bill. A move to hold on to its loyal consumers, Samsung is expected to announce similar measures overseas as well. 오정희, 아리랑 뉴스.
And that wraps it up for now. Thanks for watching. Do join us again at 10 a.m. Korea time for more news updates with Mark Broom, and goodbye for now.